I want you to consider that as an entrepreneur, your business is, in a certain sense, your canvas. And so, business is part science, but it's a lot of art. And entrepreneurship is a lot of having a vision and making a clear picture of that vision and enrolling others and helping you create that. And so many of you are familiar with the business model canvas and the lean canvas, and there's a number of terrific tools out there available for more conventional approaches to business that help you figure out the key aspects of your business model, your business strategy, and the different dimensions of your business. And in the coalition and in our academy, we have a variety of trainings on how to use those more conventional tools. But what we discovered was that many people found the language of those tools and some of the basic assumptions in those more conventional business model canvas tools and lean canvas tools, they experienced it as quite transactional, and I do too. So it's hard to get excited about using a tool that has kind of a transactional assumption built into it. So we developed our own version of a strategy and planning tool, and we call it the Conscious Business Canvas. And so the Conscious Business Canvas has built into it the assumptions that are more resonant with our worldview. We are for purpose first. Profits are a secondary effect of being successful, helping people. But our inspiration, our motivation as conscious people is to have a positive impact. And so carrying forward some of the best elements of the many other business model type canvas tools that are out there, we've included those. We've made sure that all the fundamentals, as best as we can tell, this is version 1.0, are incorporated, while at the same time adding things that we have found working with small conscious business owners makes a lot more sense to emphasize. So we'll start with we believe. And so what you put here is, what do you believe is happening? What is important and needed, and what action should be taken? So this is where you capture a summary of your basic worldview of what you and your organization believes. And of course, this leads very naturally to the next section, we exist to. So this is where your purpose goes. Our purpose is, we are passionate about, we use our gifts of blank to have a meaningful contribution in the form of blank. So start with why, as Simon Sinek says. This next section, we help solve. Who do you help? What problems do you help them solve? How specifically do you help them solve these problems? And so this problem orientation is very important, as we'll see later, not only for the business model, but for marketing. It's really important to be very clear about what problems you're helping solve for whom. And then that naturally builds to the next one, where we drill down even more specifically on the people. And so we call this one we love. Describe the people you most love to help. These are your ideal customers, because you don't want to try to, be all things to all people, and not all customers are ideal customers. You want to work with the customers that are most resonant with your values and your worldview and your approaches and your uniquenesses. And so here you describe your 3 to 4 primary customer avatars. You may be familiar with that term. We have a number of tools available to help you with your customer avatars. And this would include the demographics and psychographics, their values, what they care about, what's important to them. Next is our transformational products and services. Here's where you do describe your core offerings. What or how do you help your customer actually transform? How is your transformational offer unique or distinct from available transactional alternatives? We understand that there are other alternatives in the marketplace, and I'd like for you to think of that. There are other alternatives. That's good, right? It's like an ecosystem. Biodiversity is good. Well, market diversity is really good too. So the fact that there are other alternatives, and the fact that the people that you're trying to help, your customers, have other alternatives, it's very good to be informed by that, and then consider, how are you differentiating? How are you different and unique among those alternatives, which attracts your customers to you. The next section is we benefit. So here you list the top ways that you benefit your customers. These benefits must be specifically tied to the problems your customers want to solve and are willing to pay for. Very important. If you know about more conventional approaches to business and some of those other tools, then you know the idea of channels, and so again, but that's often approached in a very transactional way. So we transcend that, but we include the basic concept here under We Connect. And so the question here is, where do you find and connect with those people that you love to help? How do the people that you want to help, your customer avatars, your ideal customers, how do they learn about your advocacy, going back to We Believe? How do they learn about your more conscious approaches? How do they learn about the unique benefits that you offer in terms of We Help Solve? And then finally, if they are looking to solve a problem, your customers, your potential customers, where are they searching? Where do they go to find information? And so that is, again, conventionally known as channels, and we've kind of put a conscious spin on it there. And then over here on the right is where ordinarily you would find marketing information, but we like to think of it as a relationship funnel. And so here's where you describe the levels of your relationship funnel. And of course, we have many tools and ways to support people who are optimizing their relationship funnel. In fact, we will also be releasing another video on that topic. So the relationship funnel, first at the top of the funnel is when people are exposed to your advocacy. Then they engage with you in some way. Now this would be at a free level before they exchange value in the form of monetary transaction. There's some level that they can get engaged with you. And then there's an initial value exchange that does involve a monetary transaction, and that should be low cost. There shouldn't be a big barrier there. You should make it easy for them to be able to actually come into a deeper relationship with you and actually spend money with you, which is their, exchanging their life energy value in the form of their money that they worked for in order to benefit in some way. And then below that, there is kind of the initial purchase of your core product or service, your main offering, and then there's a point where people become repeat customers, and so they continue to benefit. And then ultimately, at the bottom of the relationship funnel, you have your very best customers that you're most intimate with. And what do I mean by that? Well, these are the people that spend the most time, energy, and money with you. So these are your best customers. And so that's the relationship funnel. There's more information available about that. Moving now down to the bottom left, our operating model. So this is where, in terms of your business model and your business strategy, you describe how you operate. These are all the key activities that your business must do to thrive. What core organizational competencies can you leverage? What can you outsource or partner with others to get done? And then over here, of course, it wouldn't be a conscious business canvas if we didn't have stakeholders, either explicit or at least implied. And so it's important to list your stakeholders, all of the people that stand to benefit or be impacted positively or negatively from your operations. So of course, your customers, your supply chain or your value chain, vendors, naturally your employees, your partners, but also the environment in which you operate, the town, even the planet is a stakeholder. So this is a way to make it explicit and remember not only why you're doing this, but also how you're relating with your stakeholders. And then the very bottom, of course, is cost and revenue, which is absolutely necessary in order to have a sustainable business that grows. And so sustainable cost, you want to leverage your finite resources wisely by minimizing waste and inefficiency, and as much as possible maximizing sustainability. And in the tool that's available for download, there's some additional clarifying questions to help you really clarify that so you can articulate that and build that into your business model. And then finally, sustainable revenue. So we like to think of revenue as the fuel that your business uses to help your customers to grow more capacity and ultimately have more of a positive impact. So it's very important that you have a very effective way to have sustainable revenue. And so that's a big part of your business model. And so I hope you enjoy working with this tool and reflect on it, fill it out, and bring it to an upcoming free virtual workshop and where you can meet with coaches and get their feedback.